Hey everyone, Starism's here, and freyasspirit's going to be running the half A press challenge, and I guess we need to get going, so I'll count you down if you're ready, Freyas.
Ready.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go.
So, oh, starting our timer too. This is based on the Super Mario 64 A button challenge, which is how fast can beat the game while pressing jump as few times as possible. And it turns out that in Super Metroid, the answer is that you press jump once, and you hold it the entire game. And the way that we're gonna jump is you're gonna see us if we're just standing still while holding jump and we hit back, we will do a spin jump backwards. And that is how we're going to jump the entire time. And that's going to mean full height jumps, like so, the entire game.
Yeah, that comes with a lot of other complications as well, such as no wall jumps. Right here in Ridley's room, you would usually see people doing wall jumps just for fun, for the heck of it, right? There's some other things. It's also going to really inhibit the way Freya's can shine spark. Which, if you've watched any other speedruns, you know the shine sparks are used in a lot of ways. We can still shine spark directly vertical and diagonal, but horizontal shine sparks are going to be incredibly difficult to pull off.
Yes, it is possible to shine spark horizontally. We have not practiced it. We might try anyway.
And coming up through this steam room is really difficult when you can't control your jump height, especially for going fast. You have to go slow in order to go fast.
You saw us waiting for an extra round of steam on each one, and that's just so that we don't get booped because we have to do full jump heights.
So there's going to be, some routing differences from other speedruns you might have seen. There's going to be a unique number of items because you're definitely not getting all of them. You want to get as few as possible still, but because of the nature of not being able to control your jumps, Phrase is definitely going to pick up a lot of extra missiles, a lot of extra E-tanks.
One of the really cool things about the route that we like is this is basically the same route that we took as a kid when we were trying to get the best ending.
It's really neat.
And it's really cool that we actually get to run that in a speed run. And we'd say that this is approximately the same as a very beginner any percent run. So if you're just gonna pick up the game once and try a route for any percent, this is the route that you should take.
Yeah, that's a very good point to make. And a lot of beginners have to get a lot of these extra items for comfort or for safety just to be able to survive while learning the bosses. I know I did. And another thing I forgot to mention that you cannot do anymore with the jump button being always held. You can't do moonfalls.
We were pretty sure that we could moonfall. Could we? Yeah,
Uh,
we think we could moonfall.
I think don't you have to let go of it of the jump?
No, no. There's a buffered
Oh,
moonfall where you hold shot and jump, and then you just let go of shot,
oh,
and that's how
you
we do
won't
it.
spin, so you wouldn't be able to clip through the thing in the platform and climb room when you're going down.
We think we would be
But
able to. We intentionally do not have moonwalk on because it would mean that we couldn't pseudo screw,
mhm.
and it would make a lot of the other platforming harder.
See, I didn't even think about the pseudo screwing. Good, that's a good point to have brought up.
And
There's a lot of tricks that you might expect to be done that are going to be a lot more difficult to do, like mock balls. You know, we're not going to get to do mock balls in most of the places that Phrase would normally do them.
for when we first started this, we thought that mockballing was actually impossible, and somebody from the SM community made us realize that they were possible. And so we learned how to mockball last night and got a 6-minute world record because of it.
So chat was asking about how this is being accomplished, and as far as I understand, some people have actually done it with the button taped down, like physically taped down. But I'm pretty sure Freya's is using a hack to have it always be held just for ease on your hands here.
Yep.
I have
We
to
always
say, this
software solutions rather than having to tape something down. Because this is silly and can fail much more easily.
and then you get sticky residue on your controller. And it would suck to be on PvP and for the tape to just come off.
Yeah, we think that's
But
fine if you're doing the run just once as a challenge run, but at this point it's morphed beyond a challenge run into an actual speed run, which is amazing.
so the first few minutes obviously have been very similar routing-wise to regular any percent. Almost all of the categories start exactly the same way.
This is our
And
first sub-6 bombs ever in this category.
nice. You've definitely been getting better over this year with the practice and the other marathons you've done this for.
We think we would have had it last night if we didn't accidentally shoot a missile at the blue door.
Well, maybe you'll get a new PB again today.
That would be awesome. That would be
It wouldn't
really,
be.
really
It would not be the first. It would not be the first PB that happened in this marathon at this time this year, because I know specifically Demarine got a 2-second PB in Hades.
Absolutely.
There's a
Absolutely try the run, Garby. We will guide you through it if you want.
there's a bit of a slower pace section here. If you have anything to bring up, Cass, or any donations.
No donations currently, but I do want to remind chat that there is a running bid war till the end of this about what we're going to do with the animals. Currently, Pet the Animals is in the lead with $105, and everything else is trailing with 0.
You gotta pet the animals, so I'm not surprised. But there's always people out there who do not want.
Let's see. How do we want to manage health through this segment? Like we're unsure whether running through these and just taking the damage is the best thing to do here. Actually, no. This is definitely the best thing to do here, because the surprise coming up is going to take us several tries, and we're going to get to farm a little bit of health while during our failures.
A surprise coming up. I guess you've learned a new trick.
We learned a new trick last night. Somebody in the Super Metroid community pointed out this is possible, and so we learned it last night, just in time for this run.
Oh, fantastic!
So this is probably this is tricky timing wise, so it's probably gonna take us a few tries, but we'll get it.
Oh, I see what you're going for. So, for folks in the audience who may not understand the mechanics of Super Metroid, shooting the enemy has nothing to do with the trick that Freya's is trying to do here. It's just that it will be in the way otherwise, right? So, but that enemy just keeps respawning. When it has a drop out in the open, though, like that, it won't respawn until the drop is picked up. So this is a tactic used in a lot of places, but you might not notice it, of killing a respawning enemy and then leaving its drops open so that you can do movement in such a way that it won't be there anymore in your path. And the bomb jump, laying the bomb and running into it, it's going to take really precise timing here. But if Freya's can get it, the bomb is going to push them backwards and end up in the air. And from that in the air position, they'll be able to perform the mock ball, hopefully with enough speed to get through the speed gates up ahead. And even taking a lot of time like this to get the timing down just right is going to save a lot of time in the end. Otherwise, the only other way to get through here is after going all the way down into Norfair and getting the speed booster. The timing on this is ridiculous. Like, the bomb explodes exactly 1 second or 60 frames after you place it. So Freya's not only has to get, like, lay it, move back, and start running, but has to get the right frames so that they're in the bomb explosion at the right point that it'll throw them back and up in the air.
Oh, that was it.
Almost. Oh, you had the bomb timing. Yes, that was good.
I didn't think that one was gonna work.
So, some of the route, specific route things that we're aware of that Freya's is going to be taking for this is getting grapple. You may not see that in a lot of any percent runs. It's not very, like, maybe in some earlier runs to help with getting across a few rooms. But here, because of how much harder it is to do horizontal shine sparks, grapple is going to be a really essential tool.
So are we going too fast or too slow? It feels like we're going too fast.
It looks like that to me as well, based on what I'm seeing. It feels like you're just past the center of it when it explodes. But I also haven't seen this trick other than from you, so... Has anybody been trying to donate to not pet the animals so far today? Since we got started. I guess so maybe I'll. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna hop in with a donation, but I didn't want to interrupt. We have a $10 donation from LM Motas. It says, "This is such an interesting way to play Super Metroid. Good luck and thank you, Valks, for putting this event on."
It's really nice to see Half-A Press here getting some love, because I remember about, I guess it's about 1.5 to 2 years ago when you started messing with this idea for his, and that there was a video about Super Mario 64 and how many times you're required to press A, like the minimal number of times to press A to beat the game. And that's what spawned the idea for this, because of the mechanic that Freya's mentioned earlier, where when you're holding jump, then you press to Samus's backside, Samus will do a full spin jump backwards. And, you know, that I talked about earlier how that means no wall jumps, and the restriction with shine sparks, mock balls, etc. And there's just so many other ways, and I'm sure that as we go through, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, and there's this way too.
Okay, at this point, we're actually not sure what we're doing wrong. We think we're just going too fast.
Well, and it's so tough to time because it's down to frames. You know, like probably not even tenths of a second, but frames. I wonder what the window is on this.
We had to guess like maybe 3 frames. Maybe.
So at a
At some
certain
point,
point,
just do a backup and kill Spospo.
I was gonna say at a certain point you might just have to go visit Sports Mod for us in this run.
Yeah, we think this is the point where we just have to go visit Spore Spawn. As much as we'd love to get that in a marathon setting, that just wasn't it.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone can fault you for not being able to perform a even if it's a bit more than 3 frames, a single-digit frame trick the day after learning it, right?
Yeah, we're a bit annoyed because we were able to get it in practice half an hour ago.
Don't forget to make a save if you were planning on that. Probably don't need it for Spore Spawn, but I know you will just for safety on some of the other bosses.
Probably want another set of missiles. Well, now we get to see some DLC boss.
There's a lot of love and support in chat for attempting that. Such a wild glitch there, or wild trick with the bomb jump into a mock ball. So, folks that are just tuning in, the half A press challenge, or A button challenge, as some people are calling it, is playing the entire game with the jump button being held down. It gets pressed down once to start the game and is held down forever from that point on.
It's really hard to get extra missiles into Spospo like this.
And with holding it down permanently like that, there comes a lot of movement restrictions. But we're still able to do jumps because of Super Metroid's buffered jump mechanic, where if you're holding the jump button, pressing to the back will cause Samus to do a full-sized spin jump. When it's full-sized, you can't make it a smaller jump. You can't control the height at all. That means we can't do wall jumps because we can't press the button again. Can't do space jumps. A lot of restrictions on the kind of shine sparks that we can do.
Is this Flowey? Nowhere near as cute. There we go.
Spore Spawn is a boss we don't often get to see in other speedruns. But that is the intended first... Well, I'd say after BT, it's the next intended boss. And it's also supposed to be the first place you get super missiles.
Yeah, so these are vanilla intended for super missiles.
In other speedruns like 100% or some of the GT categories, you might see people come into get Spore Spawn missiles without fighting Spore Spawn. we don't have the tools on our first pass through to do that, because in those speedruns you get super missiles at early supers, where Freya's was trying to get the mock ball across the bridge using the bomb jump.
I have a second to hop in with a donation.
Go for it.
And we got $25 from Garpy. It says, "This is such a cool challenge, and Freya's is amazing at it. We've got to pet the animal."
Petting the animals is super important.
Yay! Really appreciate everyone donating to a good cause for Take This, and also the good cause of petting the animals. So in the room coming up, it'll be a very red room. It'll be very obvious by the name of Red Tower. And a lot of the 80% speedruns for new route or old route, you'll see a route divergence here. Folks play new route will go up, and folks play old route, or the more beginner-friendly route especially, will go down here. And this is, as Freya said earlier, definitely going to be a excuse me, I'm getting a little tongue-tied. A beginner-friendly route. Even if you're not doing the half-A challenge, right? Like, this is going to be a decent route with decent item pickups for your very first Super Metroid 80% speedruns.
Yeah, we would absolutely recommend this route if you're just going to if you're gonna just try and jump straight into an 80% run without any practice. We'd actually recommend exactly this route.
So normally here we would have gone, but at the top of the elevator, we would have gone to the right and used a nice little running jump to get into a Kraid's lair. But Freya's can't carry the momentum from running to a jump because of having to jump backwards. It kills your forward momentum in order to do that buff jump. So we can't perform that jump. We have to do the intended method of getting high jump boots.
The other option would be to try and bomb jump into there, but that just... And that would work to get us into there, but then we'd have to fight Kraid without high jump, which would not be very fun.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to wall jump. Because a lot of times when people need to, if you don't get the quick kill, you have to go to the platforms up in the air. And without high jump, you can't just jump straight to them, so people will wall jump off of the wall to get up there. And you don't have that choice. You would have to bomb jump, and bomb jumping while Kraid's toenails and claws are flying everywhere would be a difficult challenge.
We do wonder whether the quick kill is possible, and we're sure we'll attempt it someday. Today is not that day.
It's really interesting also to watch some of these rooms when I'm so used to watching them go very fast and watching them take 2 to 3 seconds longer, sometimes twice as long, because of the movement restrictions. I think I'm gonna have to try this next time I get into the mood to play some Super Metroid. It's been a little while.
Ammo is great coming into here.
Now, unfortunately, the quick kill is going... I'm sure someone out there will find a way to do the quick kill one day with the half-A press challenge if they haven't already. But because we can't control the jump height again, that's going to come back and bite us in a lot of places. It's going to make the Kraid quick kill very difficult to perform. So Craig gets to go to prom, which is a saying we have in Super Metroid speedrun stuff about missing the quick kill makes Craig stand up like this and start dancing around, and so we call it prom. Or some variations of dance, like the Sadie Hawkins dance.
So looking at that, we're actually kind of curious to test now whether in some cases it'd actually be faster to bomb jump than doing a full height jump. Like getting out like this right here, we could have done a little bomb jump instead. Would that actually be faster? It's something we'll have to test.
That's an interesting thing to test, yeah.
Yesterday was the first time it really felt that we were in control of the run as we were doing it, and that makes us want to actually start trying to.
This is how tech is discovered, folks. Just
do like
is this possible? Let's try.
Just do like a full proper run grind of it, and we have no idea how that would go. It'd be interesting.
So the next really noticeable set of rooms that are gonna be very different, other than just a little bit of movement, is going to be the Bubble Mountain room. If you know, for those of you familiar with the game or the speedruns, you will definitely see something a little different happening come to when we get to Bubble Mountain room.
I get to do all sorts of fun. This really reminds us of playing through for the best ending as a kid. Because at that time we knew how to bomb jump, but we didn't know how to wall jump. And we thought the best ending was sub 2 right in game time, not sub 3. So
a few years ago, when I started getting into Super Metroid speedrun, I was looking for something to help me do exactly that. I thought it had to be 100% items in under 3 hours. That's what I was looking for, and I found a guide, and I didn't realize it was a speedrun guide. Because why wouldn't it be, right? 100% and as little time as possible. No idea. I had no clue that was a speedrun guide, and that's what got me into it. And Freya's and I actually started learning Super Metroid around the same time. But Freya is a lot better at this game than I am, and in many ways. By the time that I had a sub-hour time, Freya's was running like a 52 or a 53, I think, in any percent. Like almost a full 10 minutes faster than me.
Our first attempt at speedrunning this game was trying to follow Smokey's guide on game facts for a sub 1 in game time. We got to save before Fantoon, and then died to Fantoon, and then died to Fantoon, and then died to Fantoon. Which is something which will be familiar to anybody who tries running this game.
So something I forgot to touch on because I was a little bit being nostalgic there was in Bubble Mountain room, Freya's got up by doing a bomb jump. And because of the awkwardness of having to jump with some movement and do a full height, it's really hard to do a controlled bomb jump, where the kind where you jump into the air and lay the bomb while you're moving upwards at just the right position to catch yourself as you're falling. It takes a lot more inputs. You have to stop your momentum, and you still have to get it right, even though you have the full jump height. You don't have any control over letting go of jump.
We've actually really gotten used to that, to the point where that's our main technique for setting up bomb jumps. Even when we do have all the items, or even when we can press jump.
That's really interesting.
One thing about Bubble Mountain was that we had to actually snipe all the enemies. Otherwise, they'll just get in our way, and we snipe them all very quickly, which is wonderful. So coming up here is a really high variance trick. We have to do this bomb jump, only each time we attempt it, we have to take 30 damage from the spikes. So we just got it first try, which is the best we've ever gotten it. Unbelievably good. And just got a 27-second gold, so
Nice, congrats.
we will gladly take that. That makes up for a lot of the lost time from before.
Imagine practicing and finding new tech will improve your game, improve your time.
Yeah, we haven't actually gone through and done a full game individual room practice of this, but that's we're getting to the point where that's what we want to do next, and just strat hunt every single room.
So another thing that this half A press is going to be affecting, as I said, I'm gonna see things all throughout the run that are gonna remind me of another thing that this affects. Damage boost. In the doubles chamber room, we got to see Freya's perform a damage boost, like a really good damage boost. And because they require you to press jump, to have jump being held and hit the D-pad at a specific time, jump's always held. We're going to get a lot of damage boost on purpose and on accident here. A lot of players will actually do damage boost without knowing that they're doing them because of how easy they are to perform, or just reactionary pushes to the D-pad.
And now we get to see everybody's favorite 8-eye melty monster. For a long time it was a mystery. Does Croc actually have 8 eyes? Does he only see 4? And the answer is yes. The instruction manual shows the other side of Croc's face. One of our best Super Metroid discoveries.
If I remember correctly too, the instruction manual uses edits pronouns for Croc, and for most of the bosses even.
So another really cool thing that we'd like, when we were a kid going for our best ending, we didn't know how to wall jump, so we actually bomb jumped up to wave and used that to break into Croc exactly like this. So we were really fond of the fact that this just completely mirrors the route we used as a kid.
So with knowing it, for those of you who know the game, know the item locations, like with Rando or with Hundo, you'll know that there's an E-tank to the far right on this screen, and that if you were playing 100% of Rando, you would have probably went ahead and checked that before going over to the left and watching the Croc death animation. However, getting through all of that, all of the lava, and getting a jump up, I'm not sure if you can get a full jump up out of the lava without doing a bomb jump. However, in a little bit, on the way back through, Freya's will have grapple beam, and will make that E-tank grab a whole lot easier and a whole lot less risky.
So other than that one, so we've golded 3 of 4 splits so far, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
So we're gonna see another bomb jump up.
This one's a really big one, if I remember right. Normally, you could just run through here with Speed Booster, break those blocks, and jump, and have the Speed Booster momentum carry you all of the way across. Okay, it's not that the distance isn't as high as I was thinking it was. It's been a long time since I've had to do a non-Speed Booster setup there. And these platforms sinking into the lava every time you start to land on them doesn't help. You gotta be quick. You gotta get off of them pretty quick so they don't fall into the lava. That was second try, it looked like? Third try?
Third or fourth.
Pretty close.
First try every time.
And now, getting out, going back the other way would be, it's still possible, but using the grapple beam to go this way will save a lot of health. And it'll save a lot of effort of going through several rooms. Like, you'll have to go back into the lava tide room, which Freya's didn't actually go into, but just saw the door to. And getting a nice shine spark stored from that room into the next room.
We have no idea which is faster, but this one's more fun.
It also helps you get warmed up for using grapple. Grapple is actually a kind of an awkward control. It feels like a lot of, I feel like a lot of Super Metroid is really intuitive, but there are, like, the grapple beam controls and the wall jumps are not very intuitive. The actual mechanics of them.
Got a donation here if there's a little bit of time.
Go ahead.
All right, we got $50 from Dot Phase saying, "This is absolutely crazy for me to understand. I love Super Metroid very much. Seeing this makes me love the game even more. Keep it up, Freyas. Shoutouts to Starism as well. This is hype. By the way, petting the animals is important."
Petting the animals is all the important.
Yes. Thank you so much.
That moves petting the animals further in the lead, 180 to 0 on everything else.
Looks like tonight's crowd is clearly a Petting the Animals fan.
And this will be the last missile pack that we're picking up.
And,
So
and
now-
yes, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Couch.
All right, I was going to say, as Scott was pointing out in chat, the next run coming up, Final Fantasy II, has a whole bunch of incentives for naming characters, and it looks like some of them still need to be named. So, let's get someone for that.
We don't know how to do horizontal shine sparks consistently, but that's not going to stop us from trying.
See, the way I know to do horizontal shine sparks requires me to let go of A. So I'm not sure how they're supposed to be pulled off horizontally with A being held. But Freya's just picked up Ice Beam. This is essential to climb back up Red Tower without going a very long way around. And Fantoon has to be our next boss for Gravity Suit.
Now you're making us want. You saying that makes us wonder, like, whether how viable it would be to route the fancy spark in.
The Red Tower Spark?
Yeah.
If anyone can do that, I'm sure you can. That would be what, a stutter 4-tap? At the
top of the
base of Red Tower? Oh.
Oh, we didn't
yeah.
even think about the bottom of the Red Tower.
Well, I don't think you'd be able to go all the way up from the bottom. So yeah, you're right. You would have to go from the newbie bridge room.
Yeah, there's a super swag spark up the top half of the Red Tower, and it's a shame that you don't get to see it in actual categories. Because it is one of the best sparks in the game.
My favorite trick in the game is one I helped you come up with for Hundo Map.
Starfall.
Yes, you named it after us, so of course it has to be our favorite.
So Spazer is important here because it's just going to give us more DPS against the Meridia bosses, Botwin and Dragon.
Spazer also widens the beam, and that's going to make it'll be easier to hit some things with not being able to control your jump height, but it's a minimal amount of easier that it's going to be. to be making a few rooms here. And now you can see why Ice Beam is pretty essential to get back up.
Okay, we're glad that we made that jump.
Yeah, it looked like you froze it a little bit further to the right. I wasn't sure how tight that jump was going to be.
Neither were we.
But you did it. No surprise.
We just press buttons and things happen.
There's a lot more practice and skill involved than you let on. That's the reason that you got so much better at Super Metroid so much faster than we did, is because we didn't put the practice in like you have. You
Okay,
know,
this room is kind of a mess.
at least you can deboost still, right?
Yeah, we can deboost. We probably should.
But if you're not very familiar with this game, those things in the bottom and then the top are traps, right? Like when you fall into them or jump into them or get pushed into them, they nom on Samus for a minute, as you see there. And so doing a full height jump in here is going to cause Freya's to hit the spikes or jump into another one. And so you probably noticed the first time that happened, they used a bomb jump to get up out of it, so that it wouldn't knock them into the one in the top of the ceiling. We're getting close to Phantoon. Do you make any safety saves for the? Are you going to make a safety save rather for the marathon before going to Phantoon?
Not
I guess
beforehand.
I guess not. You just passed the save room.
Phantoon is incredibly safe with this itemization.
That's a fair point.
And we're not going to be doing any sparks. So we get to save all that health too.
Do you have a few donations if there's a little bit of time?
Go for it.
All right, we have $5 from Ella Motos saying names for sale, names for sale. Final Fantasy II names for sale. Going towards naming Furion name. $10 from Dot Phase saying shout outs to the SRR 2020 crew. Much love to the Valks. Naming Guy Dat Boy. And Motos again with $5 more naming Guy Person.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for donating.
So you saw how easily we got across and how much health we have for Phantoon. That's a huge part of why we'd recommend exactly this route as a beginner route. If you're just gonna go into a run without practice. Because you just end up with so much extra health for Phantoon. Who is definitely the most deadly boss in any percent route. No matter how high your skill is, no matter what you're doing, or whether you're playing it for the first time, Phantoon will kill you more than any other boss.
I'm definitely going to have to agree with that.
When we were first
Phantoon was
died.
definitely the hardest boss for us when we got started.
Oops. We over-itemed. So when we were first starting I think we insisted on never having a save in a run. We died once to each boss, and then half a dozen times to Phantoon.
Oh. So you see here is Phantoon's enrage pattern, where the boss is spiraling flames out, and that happens if you hit Phantoon with a super missile. There's a very specific frame timing that you can hit Phantoon with a super missile and that not happen, but it's a very difficult trick to perform. Incredibly tight timing. So a lot of people, when only using missiles, has Freya's been sometimes called a Doppler. There, we saw a pretty decent Doppler there, as Freya's ran and shot missiles. Normally, after 5 missiles, Phantoon would disappear. Well, 3 if you do them too fast. You can do 2 missiles, and you have to wait a second, do 2 more, and then you can, on the next one, Phantoon will disappear. But with that specific timing of movement forward and mashing the shoot button to shoot the missiles, you can get a few extra hits in.
Yeah, so what Stars was saying about the Phantoon Magic Frame, Phantoon has various AI states as a function pointer, and in the frame before Phantoon starts to move, Phantoon will calculate its move speed based on the relative position of Samus and Phantoon, and during that it just goes to the catch-all fall through AI, and for whatever reason it just doesn't check for enrages there.
Now, there is a strat where I think in the Nintendo Power magazines that's what they suggested. Actually, was to hit Phantoon with 5 super missiles.
Yes, it's a terrible idea. Don't do it.
It'll take a really long time. You'll be better off just spamming 3 missiles or charge shots and making Phantoon disappear.
Got a couple more donations here. $10 from Dot Phase saying Scala, 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 Scala. Naming Maria Scala. And $6 from Scala Kitty. Since I've already put in to swap Leon out for Squall, let's swap Maria out for Celeste.
Ooh. Celeste, good name.
The mountain is gay.
Coming up here is what we call the bowler room. You'll see why when Freyas reaches the end of the hallway. But this is another room where having grapple beam makes the room a bit easier. I mentioned before that we can't carry a lot of forward momentum with our jumps, and Freyas is trying to do, there we go, trying to get some damage boost to go through. But if you don't have the health for that, or you're not comfortable with it, the grapple beam will absolutely make getting through there a lot easier.
And there has been a theorized route where you do Phantoon before Phantoon first, where you'd have to do a double horizontal bomb jump across the mode. You have to do a double horizontal bomb jump, or no, triple horizontal bomb jump across the ocean, and then you'd kill Phantoon with one E-tank and no Varia, and then you'd get to bowling, where you'd have to get across while taking only 3 spike hits without grapple.
Wow, that would be quite a feat to see.
Maybe we should put ED up to it sometime.
So you'll hear that joke a lot in Super Metroid communities. ED is Eternal Dragon, if I remember right. So that's what ED stands for, right, Freyas?
Nice dragon, yeah.
Yeah, and ED is well known for being able to pull off all of the most difficult tricks that Super Metroid has to offer.
Yeah, ED is well known for having a Super Metroid book in his head.
Knowing all of the mechanics so well, having such fine control over the game as well. Like, all of the most ridiculous things. Freyas is doing some real nice bomb jumps there to get that slightly horizontal movement to get through this heckway. It's got a totally different name, but they're kind of getting stuck there for a moment on the spikes. And I believe you were wanting to chime in with some donations or something, Couch? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, Casual Geek Dave donated $10 saying, "Hi, my name is Casual Geek Dave. Cloud and Steffi are best boys. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk." And that $10 goes to naming Maria Celeste.
Yay! So I'm assuming that that is the Celeste, has in the FF6 Celeste, one of the best characters in the game. Also,
FF6
if
Celeste. Oh,
yeah, not Celeste, but Celeste, yeah.
oh,
And
we always pronounce it as Celeste. But
but
Celeste,
also,
Celeste might be right.
mm, that's what I figured because of the Final Fantasy connection. But also, our wonderful restreamer has a cat named Celis.
This room is cool. Oh no. This room isn't cool anymore.
Oh, bye, fish. We kind of needed you.
So what do we do now?
Just go down to the bottom, go left, and back in to respawn it.
The answer might have been to reset the room. This is a room where we don't have a good backup strat yet.
Will you be able to get out up here without... Okay, yeah, you'll be able to get up. Okay.
Gonna chime in really quick.
One moment, because in just a few rooms, Freya's is coming up to a mini boss, Botwoon, which is known for having the worst hitbox in the game, and I do believe you wanted me to remind you to make a save here before Botwoon.
Yes, you are right. We would have forgotten.
Okay, go ahead, Couch.
All right, Dot Phase with $125 saying, pushing it to the limit. Let's keep this rolling. Let's keep raising these funds for Take This. And that puts us at $4,000 raised so far. That is fantastic. Thank you all so much.
Wow, wonderful.
That is awesome. And for such a good cause.
So many people have been really generous. And I know that's the third or fourth time I've heard Dot Phase's name pop up for donations throughout this run alone.
Oh, oops, we did not want to shoot off all of our first supers.
So one of the reasons that speedrunners especially hate Botwoon is each of those circular segments of Botwoon's body that you see has its own hitbox. And as you see with the way it winds in and around on itself like a snake, like you might expect, the hitboxes move so that some of those body segments, which cannot be damaged, will block you from hitting the head. And the more damage Botwoon gets, the faster Botwoon goes.
The one nice thing about that is that Botwoon has a safe spot at the far left side of the room once it's below half health, and that was really nice for that situation because our health was so low. And unfortunately, we bonked the door, so we're going to reset up the Shine Spark.
I thought you might do a backup of the Metroid freeze.
That sounds like a lot of work.
I know. It just came to my mind. Would have been a nice thing to show off, but
So
Okay,
definitely slower.
The sand here is an instant death pit in this room. If we fall in. That is why we had to make the save.
I was going to say that $125 donation was a runner's choice for incentive. So whenever you figure that out, you can let me know. And we'll get it.
Ooh,
We'll get it
what
placed.
incentives do we have for the rest of the run, for the rest of the marathon? I guess we'll have to look after.
Sounds like a good time to plug a few upcoming incentives to me.
Yeah, definitely. Coming up 2 runs from now, the Superman run is 125 short of meeting the limit there. Japanese version differences showcase. That is the next upcoming goal. And then Bug Fables is the next goal after that.
So, just a moment ago there, Freya was having some trouble getting the right grapple spot connection, and the Metroid just happened to be in a good spot. Freeze froze it in place and had just exactly enough jump height to get off of the Metroid
No, what have we
onto the
done?
platform.
We don't have enough ammo for this.
Need to do some farming in the post-bot 1 hallway.
We can farm
Except-
if we die this time, but
Yeah. There's a missile refill, actually, by the safe before Dragon, right?
oh, you're right. So we can't quick
What?
grapple because we didn't kill that one, so on average, Dragon will hit us every 4.25 seconds. So we're really hoping for good RNG. We think we have plenty of health, but the save was because we can just end up with no health here.
You do have plenty of health for this. And this is a very good newbie-friendly strat to kill Dragon in a very quick manner. It is a 100% intended strat. As in not for Hundo, but that it was intended by the developers.
As a kid, we didn't even realize they could shoot Dragon. We thought that was the only way to kill Dragon.
I barely remember playing it as a kid, but I remember knowing that because of kids at school talking about it. Yep, we are not getting space jump. We cannot use space jump because the A button's always held, or the jump button, whichever jump button you use.
And space jump is horrible to begin with. It is the worst.
When you're in the water, space jump is great. You can just smash the button and you're good.
So as Oster said, Oster's description of space jump is wonderful. Just add water. So we've been super lucky about getting to freeze these Metroids in wonderful places. We've avoided so much of that. And one day we're gonna get this down consistently to the point where we just don't have to do any bomb jumping at all here.
And I know you already talked about the sand being a death trap a moment ago, but some people may not understand the physics of the quicksand there. And there's also another thing that we would often use when we're trying to go through quicksand in other places, or trying to go through crumble blocks really quickly, called a fast fall, where you turn around on the same frame that you touch the ground, and it causes you to fall through quickly. And in the sand there, if Freyas did that by accident, and that is a thing that people will accidentally do, in a few places even, with enemies, and sometimes that when you do it with an enemy, it's called a kago. And there are people who will accidentally do that in their blind playthroughs or first playthroughs, and doing that in the sand here would cause you to dig yourself so far into it that you wouldn't be able to jump out because you can't rapidly mass jump.
So we're past 2 of the 3 instant death pit rooms right now. Oh, we're so glad that the bomb jump worked. Because the pancake would have unfrozen.
That was first try every time. No, that was really good though to get it on your second jump up. That was really good.
So every time we've done this, we've tried to freeze that the Puyo in a way that we could use it to get up here. We've never been able to. Because it just falls so fast.
Like we got a $10 donation for Ragnar. From the awesome attempts at showcasing a brand new trick to showcasing such a unique run, this has been a treat. Thank you for all the good vibes, the good cause, and a great event that is just getting started. And since Runner just got their choice, let's let our awesome commentator claim this one.
Oh, wow. That's something I'm not used to getting. Thank you so much. I am not familiar. I haven't looked too far ahead, so I will definitely take a look at that later. And
So
now, go ahead, Frizz.
right now we're thinking about our health management all the way to Lower Norfair. Because our health is not great right now. And this health loss is going to follow us all the way to Lower Norfair.
Well, there's some energy refills along the way that you can stop at.
Oh, right.
Oh no, you won't be taking the lower route. I mean, you can take sidetrack to the lower route for that.
That's a big sidetrack.
Is it really that much of a big sidetrack? Because I don't mean going through at the Frog Speedway, right? Go down and left instead.
Huh. You've never thought about that in detail.
Or at the bottom of Red Tower. Which is the other way, but might be a little bit less out of the way.
Okay, so right here is the third instant death pit room. This room is awful. We hate it.
Even in vanilla, these rooms are terrible. The only time that they're not so terrible is when you have space jump and you can just mash it because you're underwater.
Oh, okay, good.
Ooh.
Okay, and we made it.
And so if you're not able to catch it, the physics of the movement change whether you're in the falling sand or not. Make some of those jumps a little bit harder, especially since we can't get any forward momentum for them.
But at this point, it feels great. We just seem to be consistently nailing all these tricks. It doesn't feel very effortful.
Well, you're definitely getting a lot more of this run under your belt, you know, than when you first started. It has a thing that can be done. So, looks like there's some talk in chat about what this is again, and so I'll recap a bit of what we've gone over, and that's that the jump button is always held down. You press it once to start the game, and it's held down for the rest of the time ever since then. Then that really limits a lot of the movement that you might be used to seeing with Super Metroid. Like I was just talking about how you can't carry your momentum forward to make your jumps go really far. You can't do that with Speed Booster. You can't Shine Spark very well. You can Shine Spark in all directions, but Shine Sparking left or right is a very difficult trick with this button always being held. The vertical, like directly up or up at an angle, are easy to do. There's no wall jumps. Mock balls are a difficult thing to get any speed with. There's a whole lot of other things, I'm sure, that I've mentioned, and I just can't remember because every few rooms there's something else.
Okay, so
damage boost. Damage boosts are always.
Remember correctly.
I'm sorry. What was? Nice gravity jump. First try.
So the goal there is to so you want to start your jump with regular physics and continue it with underwater physics, and we want to jump on the last frame possible before we lose control during a pause. Is the goal.
Yeah, the game mechanics of that is that starting the jump is starting with gravity suit on. And so it's going to let you start with fast momentum. But because you're turning it off almost the moment that you leave the ground on an ideal gravity jump, then you get the no gravity suit physics they let your momentum carry a lot more.
And that would have been another gold if we had remembered to split.
You are racking the golds up tonight.
So we're gonna lay a power bomb in the middle of the bomb jump and continue the bomb jump afterwards.
I always think this looks like a really difficult trick. But I've seen you and I've seen a few other people do this with what looks like ease.
It looks super hard because of the lag.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna change your timing of when you're pressing the button.
Yeah,
But-
so then you use a
but the
visual
power-
cue.
Yeah, and so the power bomb though is going to give you the same upward momentum, just laggier, right? Same upward momentum as the regular bomb.
So when I run last night, we realized we can solve dying in this room if we just shoot everything to death.
Can't hit you if they're frozen.
Okay, that's a neat trick. We had never even considered doing that.
That looked like, because of the way the sprite and the hitbox were, it looked like you were standing half tile above its head. That's really neat. So we're almost coming up to the fourth boss. Definitely not a mini boss.
Guess what we get to pick up?
Power bombs of shame. So for those who don't know, the in 80%, if you come through here, or even in this category, if you come through here with the right, like with full power bombs from the elevator to here, you'll have one left to get through that floor there. Freya's, I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping good track of your ammo, unfortunately, but Freya's ended up having to go and collect that power bomb pickup that you wouldn't normally want to pick up in order to be able to have enough to progress. And that's where they get the name of PBs of shame. Power bombs.
There's a bomb block where we should have used regular bombs to break it, and then we accidentally used a power bomb because we weren't thinking if we were in any percent. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, at the bottom of the shaft with the key hunters.
Yeah. This health and ammo is amazing. We don't think we need to farm at all. Hope those aren't famous last words.
Well, you do have the strongest possible beam combo.
So this is gonna be 20 shots on Ridley, so pretty easy.
And here's a fight where not having we're not having Moonwalk on actually is kind of one of the determining factors for a lot of folks whether or not they use Moonwalk, because of the needing to hold your charge shot and turn around, which Moonwalk messes with.
And you even
But
saw
Freya's-
for the turnaround.
Yeah, you've got your muscle memory to help with that, I see. But Freya specifically has Moonwalk turned off for this to help with being able to do pseudo screws.
Okay, this should be a dead Ridley.
And Ridley's done.
That was great. Like, that was a gold in the last 3 segments.
That was a quick Ridley fight. Even for, well, maybe not quite for your standards of any percent, but for my standards, that was a very quick Ridley fight.
Yeah, this one has been going really, really well.
So we've got now we have to go back through a lot of the rooms that we've already gone through. Go all the way back to the Golden 4 statue. Work our way through Tyrion and the real Metroids there, not the Moktroids we've already seen before. And confront Mother Brain. We gotta rescue the baby Metroid. And to pet the animals.
The baby Metroid is okay. Anybody telling you anything else is lying. So last night was the first time that we really felt that we have control of this run, and like we're able to just do the run without having to spend a huge amount of energy thinking about every step. And this is the second run that we've done while feeling like we're able to do that, and it just feels so good.
Well, I was afraid you might have accidentally cargoed on that spike platform there for a moment. So if you missed it earlier, when I was explaining, a cargo is a trick named after an enemy. Because in vanilla and in people just playing and accidentally doing it their own, they happen to do it most often to the enemy that's called a cargo, where when you land on it, if you turn around with the right timing, you will clip through it. And some platforms are considered enemies, so you can turn around at the right time and just clip through the entire platform. On your way to Wave Beam is another place where that's often done by accident.
Oh yes, that one is. There's platformers in the way to Wave. You can. It's one of the most painful things that you can do when you're learning the run. Is just end up clipping through the platforms and falling and having to get back up.
And like I said, it's so easy to do that people will do it by accident without even knowing what they're doing. Which is why it got its name from that specific enemy.
Ah, that was one shot away from dead. But our ammo is wonderful. We're gonna be able to head directly into Torian. No ship refill required.
Nice.
Yeah, and this run just feels so good. Like, we really feel like we get this run now. Like, we're able to actually talk during it, which we totally weren't able to when we did this run in a marathon like 6 months ago. Even 2 runs ago when we did it in a marathon, we weren't able to talk because we had to focus on everything.
If I remember right, I was also on comms for you then.
Yes.
It's always a good time getting to comms for Metroid.
It's always wonderful having you around for comms.
Well, this game is what made us meet and become friends, so it's definitely a little nostalgic and a little special for that.
We still remember the days when we first started this game. We were just racing randos with friends every night, and it was great.
Well, you've definitely been pushing for years now at this game and many different categories, and your skill level shows it.
This is probably the category which is still most special to us because we didn't quite invent it, but we've been the one who's put the most work into it. Kind of like how Blindfolded is that way for Punk. This is just our category at this point.
Oh, I'm real glad you didn't double hit the fish there with the plasma beam.
Tickle the fish.
So that fish is well known in the community because it is the only reddish orange fish in the game.
And once upon a time, there were a couple of people in the community who memed about the winner of the race would be the official owner of the fish.
Yep. They both claimed that was their fish. And every time they raced for ownership of the fish, and it's like a custody battle. So tickle the fish is a meme, and sometimes that, depending on who is doing it, sometimes like Freya's just oops into it on purpose. Some people will use grapple beam because it's immune. Grapple beam will hurt some enemies, but it won't hurt that fish.
They'll even unfreeze the fish.
So we're coming up in a moment to the Golden Four statue room, which is a good chunk of time here. If you have anything to bring up, Couch.
Actually, yeah, I was just about to bring up. We still have the bid war for what to do with the animals at the end of the run here. What time did you all want to close that?
As Mother Brain 3 is dying.
Okay. And the next run, we still have all the characters to be named. So if y'all want to get some naming in, feel free.
So Freya's is going to be going into.
If only we could actually get those. One of the most important tricks in any percent.
So going through Turian here is definitely going to be a bit slower, though you might be used to seeing Freya's, or a lot of 80% runners do. We're definitely not going to be able to perform the trick baby skip, because even though there is a way to do it with a shine spark that I'm aware of, the horizontal shine spark is incredibly difficult, in addition to that specific horizontal shine spark having incredibly difficult timing. And here you can really see the lack of forward momentum in jumps and how it hinders some of the movement Freya's has to do.
It's okay, the Metroid rooms are awful, and now we have an excuse for playing them awful. Playing them in a way that looks awful.
Just going slow and safe.
These are in any percent or hundo item. These are the most technical rooms, most APM intensive rooms in the game. I think somebody's timed it out at like 400 APM.
That's wild, because in 100% you do have more buttons to press to cycle through. If you don't use item deselect, you have a lot more buttons to press to cycle through, because you have grapple and X-ray, which you have grapple here.
And if you're trying to do it 100% properly, optimally, you're using grapple to pick up the items as well when doing hundo item.
I'm so glad that was one of the things I learned. First was 100%, so I learned how to use item deselect, which is something that a lot of 80% runners don't bother to learn. So item you see the missiles at the top of the screen, and the super missiles, power bombs, grapple beam, and as you press item select, you cycle through which one you're using instead of your normal shot. Item deselect, no matter which one you're on, cancel all those so you go back to your normal shot. And 80%, people don't pick up grapple beams, so they have missiles, super missiles, and power bombs. And so it's a lot easier to put just item select, jump, shoot, and run on your face buttons, and not worry about item deselect at all, since it would have to be on select. But yeah, has some people in chat are already noting that we just re-encountered the baby, the one that originally stole at the beginning of the game. It's grown very big. It's eaten everything in sight, which is why it's grown very big. It's a growing baby, after all.
So do you think hamburgers taste good?
I wouldn't know. What does taste like to an energy-draining creature? The baby even actually tried to eat Samus. But then at the last moment realizes that this is Mama. This is the one who's raised it, basically, been around it the most. Which plays into Super Metroid, well, not Super Metroid 2, just Metroid 2. At the end of that one is where you find this baby.
So we bet that Samus tastes better than the side hoppers.
Well, would it be the life force that the baby is tasting because of how it drains everything the way it does and everything's dust in those rooms? Or
So
would it be the metallic armor that it's tasting?
Good question. Probably the life force. So here's Zebskip. This is a tricky trick. There we go. Just got it.
It's definitely an unusual way to do Zebskip. And we're coming up to Mother Brain 1 fight right now. So the donation will be cut off here soon about what to do with the animals.
Okay.
Oof.
Good thing we picked up that fifth missile pack. Otherwise we would have had to reset.
And now we're at Mother Brain 2. You've got about 2 minutes or so. Minute and a half cutscene coming in as well.
All right.
Or minutes or so. Before it has to be cut off.
Heard that, everyone. Still a chance to save or taunt them.
It's actually Pat, right? This time? So
Yeah, currently Pet is ahead.
I can't remember, Freyas will be able to tell us in a moment, who came up with that idea. Meg. And so Meg Mech Attack. Anyhow, the idea of petting the animals is going into the animals room and not just opening it and getting out right away, like you might see some other times, but it's going in and actually using the arm pump animation to make it look like you're petting on the animals. And I always appreciate the idea of saving the animals, because in canonical vanilla Super Metroid, there's rooms where you get trapped. And the whole point is for you to meet these animals and they teach you how to perform a trick. The Decora teaches you how to shine spark, and the Edacoons teach you how to wall jump. Or rather, not that they teach you how to do them, but they show you that they're possible, and the idea is that you're supposed to figure out how to do them.
Yeah, unfortunately 10-year-old us was not very smart, so the Edacoons didn't teach us how to wall jump.
The unfortunate part for people who don't know how to perform those tricks is that there's a save station at each one of those. So if you save and then you can't do the trick, you can't get out.
In our opinion, that's the absolute worst thing in Super Metroid, that save in the Edacoon pit.
Yeah, that's a bad design. But this was, an early 90s game. A long time ago. Game design didn't quite have as much progress as it has now, almost 30 years later.
Yeah, we do have a last-minute donation in here, $30 from... $30 from Absurd Bird to pet the animals.
And we need to call us, and we're guessing that a Pet won by a huge margin?
Pet won with the absolute shutout, 210 to nothing.
Heck yes.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for donating. So, there's a minute or so here in the escape before we get to the animals. And shortly after the animals is where time will be called, when Freyas lands on the ship and Samus turns to face forward. But I will definitely give you another heads up for when time is going to happen and when it happens, so you don't have to worry too much about it. I think that's Zoe, the restreamer, handling. Yeah.
And just to give an idea of how good this run is, if we'd gotten a first try mock ball, we would have world record by several minutes right now. So we were one trick away from getting a very solid world record. Ooh, we got all the way to the top.
Nice.
So that's in this category, that is RNG of whether or not you can do that shine spark, because it depends heavily on what your Y position is when you start, and in this category that is just RNG. There's nothing you can do to change it, or so we think.
There's a small platform at the bottom that Freya's is referring to that will stop you with that shine spark if you aren't going fast enough or if it's not on the right frame somehow. And that's what I believe they're referring to the RG, about whether you've got enough speed or the right position to clip through it. But here we are, we're petting the animals, running around, getting a little bit of an acid bath at the same time.
So
you can see that one Etikun over in the corner saying, "Over here, over here."
And time will be coming up in the next round.
Time is very soon.
And time.
GG. It's a good one.
That was Super Metroid Half A Press. A super awesome run that we love. One of our favorites. A really, really neat concept, and the more we play it, the more really cool tricks are introduced to it. The community has a habit of just every once in a while, like with Zeb Skip and with the early Super Smock Ball, there'll be somebody in the community who just adds us and is like, "Hey, you can use this in Half A Press." Because at this point, we're known in the community as a person who does Half A Press, and it's just awesome. The community just randomly offers us these tips. So thank you for the GGs. That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Stars, for commentating. Thank you for restreaming, Zoe, and thank you, Couch, for hosting. And yeah, that was awesome.
Really appreciate the ask to join you again. It's always a good time, and thanks to everyone, all the Valkyries, all the volunteers helping put this on, and all the people donating especially.
Yeah, especially thank you for the donations. This is a really, really good cause and super important, and that it's important enough that the animals are willing to sacrifice themselves for you. And with that, we'll see you next mission.
All right, and coming up next, we have a pretty awesome run. We have a GBA run of Final Fantasy II run by Nikki Noel. It's going to be a pretty fascinating race. There's still naming incentives open, so if y'all would like to name a character, feel free to make a donation there. All right, and we will be getting a screen swap transition over where the stream will go down, so do not panic. They'll be right back doing the swap.